Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's try to explore the blocking of the human figure in ZBrush. Blocking plays a very important role in the workflow of character modeling and sculpting. In this phase of modeling or sculpting, we try to set up the proportions and scale of the character. It gives the basic idea where we are heading. Once the blocking is done, it will generally cut down your work to the half when it comes to the primary shapes of the character. Once you have done this, you can later, once you feel that the proportions and the pose and everything is in right path, you can start sculpting the secondary details and the tertiary details of the model. So let's get started in this video. For blocking, I'll be using a few of the tools, and right now I've started with a polysphere, and I'll be using move tool most of the time. So for that, I'll be pressing BMV, which brings up the move brush here. And when I'm reshaping this sphere, preferably I'll use a bigger size brush and symmetry on, and I'll be grabbing those points and try to achieve some rough shape there. I'll use the subtool here and keep appending the parts of the model. I also preferably use sometimes a clay build-up to get some volumes if I'm not able to achieve it through normal move tool. And also I use the smooth tool if required to smooth those points. I also use the transpose tool move, and this will greatly help me. So we have the rotation and the scale in the same tool. I can rotate those points and then scale those points here. So to start with the blocking, I have taken a sphere and I'm using the move brush, and then I can just grab it like that. So maybe I start with the abdomen part, abdomen and the stomach part. So you have some muscles on the stomach, which is the rectus abdominis and all that. So this is the starting point for me. Okay, I will slightly grab those points here and then give a nice curve shape here, and then also just the pubic area, and then just slight push here in getting the arc, the separation where we get the legs coming out from there. If not, you can make this part as a whole separate thing. So let me put this way firstly. Okay, I use the smooth tool, just make it smooth. I'll go to the append, okay, and then put the sphere and then select the sphere there, and then scale it like that. So I'll be using the X symmetry here and then slightly modify the shape. So you can give a shape for the chest. I'm using the damn standard brush also, so that just gives a slight crease there, and also try to modify the shapes like that. And sometimes you may not get the right placements of it, and it's perfectly okay at this point. I'll also enable the polyframe and then switch off the line so that I could see those points in a color there. I'll use the append tool and then take the sphere. When I just hold Alt and then click on any subtool, it should get selected. I'm using this move tool, and then I will try to get a shape of the rib cage here. Okay, a rib cage is slightly below the chest muscle there. Again, it just shows up to this point here in the so the symmetry was one important thing. Always when I append, it's asking for a new symmetry request. So as I told, sometimes when we use the move tool, it may not really help me with the move tool, so I can sometimes use the clay build up there. So that's the rib cage shape there. So I'll choose the append again, and then take the sphere and then put those points there. So I'm going to scale this point here just for the neck purpose, and then put those points here. I use the move tool and then move the points here just to get that nice arc shape at the neck point here. And it's okay if I'm not getting the right shapes at this point. I can always modify those points later once the overall character comes, takes the shape there. So but it should be somewhere getting into shape. I'll take the append and then keep adding the same method. Take the sphere and then start scaling those points there. So I'm using the sphere here. Again, symmetry is so roughly blocking out the face here. Symmetry is keep off every time I'm doing it, and also try to place it on the model and then keep editing those shapes. Sometimes the shape of the head could be too big or small, then you can alter that later also. So let me just keep it this way at this point of time, and then take the sphere again, and then I'll be just putting that on the back there. Okay, so I'm using the move tool, and then make sure that the X symmetry is on. This is always being missed. So let me put the trapezius muscle volume again. It's very blocking, not detailed. So and the trapezius is visible from the front view. That's something you should check. So when we start placing different muscles there, you keep adjusting. The muscles itself demand for some space there. So as I told, if anything is not working at the early phase, you can keep doing that as you progress forward. So I'm just creating the deltoids here, and deltoid forms a very important shape. We can always have a look on the silhouette of the model there. I'll just put the latissimus dorsi. I just take the append tool and then take a sphere, okay, and then scale it like that, and I'll just move it on one side like that. So maybe I can copy this. So big size brush is always helpful. So sometimes move tool may not able to give you the shape what you want. Use a clay build up tool and then just smooth it out. So if I sculpt anything on this side, it is affecting on the back. So you can go to the brush and then go to the auto masking and then enable back face masking, so that will not affect anything on the back. So this model what I have achieved here, I'm going to put it on the opposite side. For that I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'll go to the deformation menu and then just hit mirror, and that becomes a copy there. And then once that is done, I'm going to select these two subtools and then merge down those subtools, and then that becomes one subtool for the latissimus dorsi on the back side. So once that is done here, okay, I'll be taking the sphere for the upper arm, where you have those shapes for the biceps and all. So roughly that is going to be the form of the upper arm. So one way is you can duplicate this by holding control, but I just wanted it to be in a separate subtool for a beginner to handle his scene precisely. So I'm going to choose an append sphere and then alt and then click those points there. So I will be putting this arm angle on the back side, and then I'll be selecting those points like that. So it just gives you the angle what you really wanted. So I have some position related inputs, like my elbow touches the rib cage, and the hand somewhere goes around the glutes bottom line. So those are certain tips I really follow just to rightly measure the proportions. So I'll be taking the move tool and then just grab these points here. Actually it's more up to this point here, and then this volume comes up like that, and then here this volume goes like that. So it's like an angle where your volumes are pumped up on the forearm, and it's okay if things are not neat at this point. So I'll just take the append sphere and then move that at this point. So I'm just trying to give a volume for the elbow. Sometimes, as I told you, I will use the clay tool just to get the right shapes. So I'll be taking a sphere again for the hand and then scale it down. Let me scale this, and I'm using, in hand you have different poses like pronation, demi-pronation, forced pronation and supination. So if the palm is facing inside the body, that's a demi-pronation pose or semi-pronation pose. So I'm roughly doing the semi-pronation pose for the hand. So I'll do the fingers part in some time. I'll just complete the legs and then later go with the other sides. So very quickly I will select the deltoid, okay, and then I start merging it down with into one sub tool, and I will be duplicating this, and then I'll choose the mirror tool so that comes onto the opposite side. Okay, so you should be able to see you're getting some rough block. Let's say okay, I'll just select the two of the sub tools here. Okay, I'll select the first one and then use the merge down tool, and I'll be using the move tool, and then using the symmetry I'll just try to blend those points here, and the overall idea is to check the silhouettes of the model there. So it should basically look correct at this point. So I've just roughly blocked out all the shapes. Again, the correction keeps on coming, but it keeps, I mean, that's the part of how you improve your work. So I'll be using the insert and then put the sphere, which brings up that sphere below the abdomen part, and then I'm going to move this part there on the back side, and then I just try to get that shape here. Okay, maybe we can try, so I'm just trying to separate the abs part, and okay, that gives that small split between the external oblique and the rectus abdominis. So I can maybe use some amount of clay there, and then that gives that cut here. Okay, so here you have this detail here, so you can put a separate model at this point, or here for the hint of what it is going to look, I'm going to put the clay itself. I mean, I'm going to sculpt this in the clay itself here. Okay, so always have a look on the thumbnail drawing aspect. So okay, that looks good. So I'll be using the append tool, or maybe I can use the insert tool. Append will bring the sphere in the last of the list, so I'll be moving those points. I mean, so I'll be putting the leg here. Again, I'll just put slightly angled or slightly knee bend, and with the move tool I'll just put this lines a little bit on the straight, and then the front I would put slightly arched, just like how we block out the drawings here. So we can rotate it as per our requirement here. I want to put these legs a little bit wide, so I'll just keep it a little bit off the body so that I get the gap between this legs. So once that is done, I'm going to insert a spear, which immediately brings up the lower leg here, and I'm going to scale those legs, and then that angle is required. So I can use this inflate tool, and inflate tool is like getting in slightly inflation in the stroke area where you are applying. So the reason was like I've taken the spear and it tapering down, so that's the reason I've taken the inflate, and there's no other reason there. So legs look too long, so again, no worries at this point. I can change it any time. If you have reference, I think you need not worry about too much about the form of the proportions basically. But if you are practicing the proportions, so I would rather say do without reference. So it generally helps you understand the character, the forms there. So slightly bulging up the calf muscles, what you call gastrocnemius muscles. So that arc shape is going to make it look different there. I will add a spear and then put it at the knee. Okay, that's again rough block. I'm smoothing out that one. I'll use the append and then I'm slightly breaking the silhouette here. Okay, and use this spear. I'm using the clay brush again. It generally helps me getting the shape way quickly. So this is inner side, so it will be slightly higher, and this is the outer side. It will have that slope. And also I'm going to use the I just slightly face this outside. And I'll be selecting these legs here, so maybe it's on the bottom here. Okay, so I'll select this one and then start merging down. Then the overall leg is one piece there. I'll be duplicating this one. Okay, once that duplicated, I'm going to mirror that, and you should be able to see the overall form of the character. Okay, I'll be using the spear, and then I'll just put it for the glutes there, roughly like that. So I can use the damn standard brush, but symmetry should be on. Okay, the legs looks too short there, so I'll be selecting the leg here, and then I'm going to merge it down, and then when I move this leg with the symmetry, it is going to move on both sides. So you can keep exploring the leg here in terms of posing. I could see the sizes here. So until you get the right size and proportion, you can keep changing the pose of the character. Okay, now let me I mean, even the proportions, the size and all can be altered the way you wanted them to be. I'm just checking the silhouettes here. I'm using the clay buildup and then just trying to fill those area, and then here you'll have that serratus anterior muscle. I'll just quickly pose the fingers there. So I'll be inserting a sphere and then scale it non-proportionally. I'll be using the inflate tool and then slightly make it more thick, and I'll use the mask lasso tool here, okay, and then invert those points and then just slightly pose it like that, okay, and then do the same thing here. I also just grab those points here and then just slightly get the finger details. Once that is done, okay, I just hold control and then start rotating those points. So I'll just try to fold this little finger way inside. And I'll be scaling this finger slightly big and then start duplicating this. So I'll just scale this finger very thin and long. And this one, once I started placing the second finger, I understood that it has to be a more thin. Like that. Just holding control and then moving it up is more than sufficient. And then I'm just making this more short, and then the proportion look very odd here. So I just grab the points and then try to make it look more reasonable. So I'll be using in the masking, okay, mask by poly group. So when I do that, the first stroke to which we apply our result, okay, so I just roughly blocked out the fingers in a pose there. Nothing, I mean, I've not put it in a neutral pose. I just kept it slightly relaxed to give the volume. So I'm going to duplicate that and then use the mirror so that it comes onto the opposite side. And then we have the hand sub tool, and that we will bring it down and then merge it for the fingers there. So this is what we have here overall when we have blocked. So there are so many other small layers, I mean small, I mean, if you have to do more detailed blocking, instead of like, let's say putting leg in one piece here, the upper part, you need to build the muscles, okay. That will also help you to make this model look really great. So firstly, I would like to merge all of these layers, okay, sorry, the sub tools into one object so that you could see the overall model the way it generally looks. So I can do a BPR rendering and I can publish it if needed, and you could see the volume separation and all that going on here. So this is how I do the blocking for the character, okay. I hope you get a lot of valuable insights and skills to enhance the sculpting journey. Remember that mastering the art of blocking lays the groundwork for creating stunning character designs. I suggest you to keep practicing. I would say focus more on lot of blockings with different body types and proportions, male, female, obese, thin, lean, and also some fantasy characters. When you keep doing more of that, you will get the control over the character and its form. So happy sculpting. I request you to please subscribe the channel and like the video if you really liked it. Please share this video with your friends so that I can get more reach. Please support the channel. Thank you.